My name is Daniel. I'm 42. I've lived in the same apartment building for 11 years. I bought an apartment years ago with my savings because I liked it so much. I wish I could have my neighbors too. I'm a quiet person. I greet them, but I don't chat. Especially Harold, who lives next door. He's quiet too. But it's a different kind of silence. Tense. As if he's hiding something. There's always been a distance between Harold and me. It's as clear as a wall. But that wall, lately, it started making strange noises. Around 3 a.m., clicking sounds. Whispering sounds. Sometimes like metal scraping. At first, I thought it was a mouse. Then I remembered Harold was old and lived alone. Maybe he needed help. No matter what, my suspicion never left. I knocked on his door. He didn't answer. I tried again the next day. Still nothing. But the noises continued. It was coming from right in the middle of the wall. I put my ear to it. He was humming something. It wasn't clear. But it was rhythmic. Like a unique melody. One night, the noise got louder. I pounded on the wall. They stopped. But towards morning, it started again. This time, from the lower part of the wall. It sounded like someone was crawling inside. I told the apartment management. Harold's old. Maybe he fell, I said. The manager came. He knocked on the door. Harold opened it. Smiling, the walls are old. They make noise. But that smile was empty. His eyes were looking somewhere else. The manager left. I stood there. I was sure something was hiding here. 2 days later, Harold was hospitalized. He had a heart attack. The apartment was empty. But the noises continued. This time, clearer. A child's voice from inside the wall said, "Get me out of here." I called the police. They came. They examined the wall. They said, there might be structural deterioration. But I insisted. I requested an excavation. I got a permit. The wall was opened. An old wooden box was found inside. Small. It had a rusty lock. They opened it. Inside were children's clothes, a teddy bear, and a voice recorder. The device was working. They played the recording. "I'm Tommy. Harold put me here. It's too dark. It's too cold." The police opened a file. Harold's past was investigated. A connection was made to a missing child case in 1993. But Harold died in the hospital. He couldn't be questioned. The apartment is still empty. The wall has been repaired. But I still hear that voice. Get me out of here.
I'm Rachel. I'm 36 years old. Everyone in the neighborhood knows me as the dog lady. I love animals. And I have 3 dogs in my house, like my children. Well, there were. Now there are 2 left. Max is missing. The last time I saw him was in front of my neighbor's garage across the street. Max was 7 years old. His breed is a golden retriever. He was a quiet, docile, but very cheerful dog. I used to walk him every morning. That day, I left the door open. Max went outside. Normally, he would come back. But he didn't. I searched. Street by street. I went to the park. I asked veterinarians. Nothing. Then I found Max's collar in front of my neighbor Greg's garage. There was blood on it. A small drop. But it was obvious. I asked Greg, "Did you see anything in the garage?" He looked away. No. Maybe it was another animal. But the garage was closed. It was always locked. That day, I mustered up the courage. At 2 a.m., I looked in the back window of the garage. Inside was Max's blanket. And other things. Children's toys. Old photos. A school bag. I went to the police. They came. Greg opened the garage. There was an accident. Max went into the garage. He panicked. He hit his head. He died. But there was no body. Just a blanket. And traces of blood. The police filed a report. But Greg was released. Lack of evidence. I continued my investigation. I asked my old neighbors about Greg's past. In 2008, a child disappeared in another city. Greg lived in that neighborhood. An investigation was opened but closed. Max is still gone. But I still hear barking when I pass the garage. It's quiet. Muffled. As if it's coming from inside. It's eating me up inside. I loved him so much.
I'm Anthony. I'm 48. My wife and I bought a small house outside the city. It's a nice, quiet neighborhood. The only problem, we share a driveway. We share it with our next-door neighbor, Linda. At first, it was fine. Then, everything changed. Linda started parking her car right in our exit spot in the mornings. When I pointed it out, she snapped. This is a shared space. I can park it wherever I want. I retorted. Shared space means respect. The argument escalated. One day, my car mirror was broken. There were no cameras. There was no evidence. But it was obvious. He did it. In the morning, I found my tires flat. It was clear someone had done it on purpose during the night. My wife started to panic. We called the police. They said it was a neighbor dispute. They didn't intervene. One night, a rock was thrown at Linda's car window. I was the one who blamed it on me. But I wasn't. The only witness was George, the neighbor across the street. I didn't see it, he said. But he was sitting right across from the window. The tension mounted. One morning, Linda came to my door. I need to talk to you. We went out into the garden. Suddenly, she started yelling. She walked up to me. We scuffled. She fell and sprained her ankle. The police came. They called it physical violence. But there were no cameras. There were no witnesses. George remained silent again. From that day on, scratches began to appear on the hood of my car. "Be careful" had been spray painted on the window of my wife's car. It was nighttime. The camera was still gone. The neighborhood was quiet. But everyone knew. Everyone was watching. No one spoke. I considered moving. But Linda was still there. George was still silent. And the driveway was still shared. Every morning, something was left next to my car. A nail. A piece of glass. Sometimes just a note, "You started it." Later, I had a camera installed where I parked my car, and nothing like this has happened since. I hope it never happens again. My wife is terrified.